Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. And if you're just visiting, please consider subscribing. So today we're going to continue testing new fragrances. I have another exciting set of new or really talked about fragrances, and I don't want to waste any time here because the first one is, well, the most exciting one for me. Did any of you guess? I did mention this fragrance in the first testing video that came out before this. It is, of course, the new Tony Iommi Defied from Sillage. Yes, I finally got my second attempt at ordering a sample was successful. I got it, I tested it, and I formed my opinion about it. So let's discuss. All right, so starting with the notes, we have cinnamon, saffron, apple, leather, rose, moss, patchouli, papyrus, and musk. This one is interesting because if I purely looked at the notes without knowing what fragrance it was, I don't think I would ever even test it because these notes don't seem like my kind of notes. They seem extremely masculine. It seems like this is not something that I'm going to like, but knowing that the original Tony Iommi is my absolute number one fragrance that I've been obsessed with for over 2 years, I had to try the new version because, the original one, I also had my doubts about because there's also leather there and some people said it was masculine, and yet it turned into my number one fragrance of all time, So I had to try this one. I really didn't know what to think about it. Now, is it similar to the original? Overall, I would say no. This one is very different. Now, it has some similar elements, which I'll talk about in a second, but overall feel of this fragrance is very, very different. This one is, as the notes would suggest, very masculine. Leather is here for sure. Patchouli, yes. Saffron, yes. A little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of apple, but even though they're in the top notes, for me, these notes actually come out more in the dry down. Originally, I really don't get them. Like, I get quite significant amount of leather, or perhaps it's saffron because, they can smell very similar in my opinion. As the fragrance dries down, I get a lot more patchouli, and this is the element that's similar to the original because the type of patchouli that's in here is the same type of patchouli that's in the original fragrance. So that initial leather bubble turns a little bit more towards patchouli in the dry down, and this is where I'm starting to get a little bit more cinnamon and apple. But this fragrance never really becomes feminine. It never really becomes sweet by any means. This is a leathery, earthy type of scent. Is it beautifully done? Yes, it is very beautifully done. My husband absolutely loves this scent. He loved it. I said, do you think we should get it? He said, yes, definitely we should get it. Now, the thing is this fragrance for me? No, I want to say yes so badly because I love the original so much. But if I purely judge it, on how it smells, it's not really for me. It's way too masculine, It's very masculine. It's beautiful type of masculine. Like, the leather is not offensive by any means. It's not too much. Like, it's very present, but it's not too much. I love patchouli, so patchouli works for me beautifully. But, also I should mention there is a rose in here, and I've heard some reviews say that they get a lot of rose in this. I really don't. I don't. I barely get any rose. In fact, If I didn't know that there was a rose, I don't think I would get it at all. So honestly, it's not about rose for me at all. It's very, very masculine, you know? It's beautiful, but it is masculine for me a little bit too much. So I think, you know, I might give it to my husband as a present for something. I don't know. But will I purchase it for myself? Probably not. So I think it's a great release from Xerjoff. It's beautiful. You know, it's kind of, I think they made this beautiful pear now, you know, the original, even though many people still consider it masculine. To me, it is not. I really don't think it's that masculine. So for me, it's a great kind of sweet, more feminine leaning scent. And then the second release, the Defied version, is more powerful masculine scent. So yeah, it's a no for now. It's a no for me, but I think for a man, it's a stunning scent. Okay, let's go to the second fragrance. Now, this one is also extremely exciting for me to test because this comes from a house of kerosene. It is called Promises. For those that have been with me for a while, you know that probably my number 2 of all time, that has been my number 1 for many years, is Unknown Pleasures from Kerosene. It is definitely my number 1 gourmand. And so when I learned that they came out with another vanilla scent, oh my God, I needed to try it. Absolutely needed to try it. Now, the notes in this one are very, very simple. We only have amber, vanilla, and musk. So, this one was so highly disappointing for me. So disappointing. I don't get it how the same house that created Unknown Pleasures, which is still to me the absolute best gourmand ever, can create this. This, I don't know, slightly ambery vanilla, light, boring, about nothing. Scent is really about nothing. Like, this is so uneventful and so not interesting. Like, and just, it's about nothing. There's nothing I can say about it. Lightly ambery vanilla, nothing else. I don't even want to spend more time on this. I was so disappointed. Like, Unknown Pleasures, follow. There's so many gorgeous fragrances. I think they make such amazing gourmands. Like, what happened to this one? Really, what happened? I don't get it. All right, next, I have a few fragrances from the same house, the house of Theodoros Colatinis. And I think it's his newer releases. Now, the first one I want to talk about is Pear Gelato. Now, I have, what do I have? I have his Coffee Addict, which is one of the most beautiful coffee scents. I love it. My husband loves it. We wear it all the time. So I was definitely very curious to try this one. This one features the note of pear. There is cone waffle, milk, vanilla, sugar. I mean, the notes are absolutely perfect. So I was very, very excited about this one. What do I get here? I kind of get the notes that are listed. There is a little bit of pear. It's like you sprinkled some sugar on it and maybe you cut it up into pieces and put them in a waffle cone. Like, literally, I am getting a little bit of everything. Maybe just very touch of milk, like it's sort of milk is somewhere there, but it's not fully lactonic. But it is a little bit there. And there is added sweetness from vanilla. Like, I do get all the notes. And in one way, I find it appealing, sort of, because it's this really nice, I love lactonic, I love sweet, I love pear. But in another way, I find something, and I can't put my finger on it, something a little bit strange about this combination. There's something slightly off-putting about it. I don't know exactly what it is. Is it that pear is not mixing well with milk? I don't know, but something is a little bit off. There are elements of this fragrance that smell so nice to me, but everything put together doesn't quite work. So I'm a little bit puzzled by this one. I think I want to test it more because there, like I said, there are some elements that are absolutely beautiful and I really, really love, but yet the whole thing together kind of doesn't work for me. So yeah, I want to test this one a little bit more. I'm intrigued and sort of puzzled by this scent. Okay, next one from the same house is Caramel Oud. Again, the note list is very short. Caramel, oud, toffee, saffron. Okay. Interesting. I would say this one is for people who really enjoy oud and saffron. Because these two notes are very strong to me. I do get oud and I do get saffron very, very strongly. And you know, you have these two beautiful sweet notes like toffee and caramel. I wish that they would come through more because they're really overshadowed. To me, they're completely overshadowed by oud and saffron. Like, there is supposed to be sweetness here. Like, I can totally see if I was getting strong sweetness together with that kind of strong woodiness or oudiness, I don't know what we would call it, you know, it would be so good. But all I get, majority of what I get is oud and saffron. So yeah, this one is not my cup of tea at all. And the last one from Theodore's Collectinis that we're gonna test today is Cherry Powder. Interesting name, cherry excites me, powder not so much, and it's kind of the same story in the notes. Again, only 4 notes. We have powdery notes, cherry, macaroons, and milk. So, you know, cherry, macaroons, milk, great. Powdery notes, not so much. What does it smell like? I was very curious about this one because I was like, okay, how does this combine? You know, very edible notes together with powdery notes. I don't know. So what do I get? This one is interesting because it says it has milk, but to me, it actually has some kind of like fizzy, bubbly nature to it. Like, I would say more there is like, I don't know, Sprite or 7-Up in here or something like that. That's what I get more than milk. In fact, I don't get milk at all. And maybe it's like fruity macaroons that are giving it this. But yeah, that's what I'm getting. And then there's definitely lots of powder sprinkled on top. So powdery notes, yes. So really, I get cherry, I get macaroons, I get powdery notes. But instead of milk, I get more something like Sprite or 7-Up. That's what it smells like. You know, this scent has grown on me. When I tried it for the first time, I found it a little bit odd. Again, there was something sort of like with pear gelato. There was something about it that wasn't quite adding up for me. But the more I try it, the more I start liking it, you know? It's quite lovely scent, really. It's quite nice. Now, do I need it? I'm not sure that I need it. I feel like I have all the cherry fragrances that I need, I think. But as you know, this house is quite inexpensive, so I don't know, maybe. But there is still something a little bit odd about the scent, but kind of in a nice way. So it's an interesting one. I would not say that this is a safe blind buy, but I would definitely recommend trying this one because it is interesting. Okay, next on the list, we have a new fragrance from the House of Accra, and that is Smile. And the notes here are bergamot, raspberry, clary sage, and musk. Kind of a slightly strange combination of notes, I think. I really had no idea what to expect from this one, but it intrigued me because, like, I just don't get clary sage with the other notes. So, what does it smell like? It smells like something odd. Honestly, like when I looked at the notes and they didn't make sense to me, the scent doesn't make sense to me either. It's like I do get raspberry with musk, but then there's clary sage, which to me doesn't go with the notes at all. Like I don't get it. I just don't get this one. It's really strange. It's like fruity, musky, and savory at the same time. Like I'm completely puzzled by this one. I just really don't get it. Like, why claries? What is this supposed to portray? Maybe I should have done my research to understand what this is supposed to portray. I don't know. Maybe I should have done some research. Maybe there is a theme here that will kind of explain this. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't really like it, and I don't want it. Next on the list is, I think, the newest or one of the newer releases from Amouage, and that is Love Delight. Now, Amouage is a very complex house. For me, I can never blind buy anything from this house. And in fact, most of their fragrances, and I have tried majority of their fragrances, they just don't work for me. They're too much for me. Now, this one, again, really piqued my interest. I thought, this could be really good. At the same time, this could be really bad. You never know with Amouage, but I thought, okay, I really need to test it. So again, let's start with the notes. We have ginger, mandarin orange, cinnamon, rose water, heliotrope, jasmine, rose, vanilla, cacao, rum, and cypriol oil. I mean, interesting notes, really interesting. I didn't know if it's going to be more, floral or more sweet or sort of more zesty, fresh. Like there are elements of all of these things in here. And at first, when I tested this fragrance, I thought, this is good. Did I just find my new Amouage? I really liked it. Even my daughter tested it with me as well, and she really, really liked this one. It really had that kind of slightly sweet, but very kind of zesty, bright, fresh vibe to it. Like I really got ginger and mandarin orange and some sweetness from vanilla. It's so pretty. I put it on my skin and I thought, ooh, this really, really has potential. Now, what I found was that as it sat on my skin longer, the floral elements came out much, much stronger in the dry down, like especially jasmine. I actually liked heliotrope in this fragrance. Like it added a touch of sort of this nutty, powdery flavor, which I actually really liked. I felt like it really worked in here, but then, a bunch of jasmine came out, which kind of ruined it for me. Even though jasmine wasn't like super strong or like super indolic, but it was there. And most of all, what I found is that, which I've experienced before with other Amouage fragrances, it was just very headache inducing for me. I just couldn't. Of course, it's a beast. It was just coming at me with full force. It was so strong. It was just becoming too much. The longer I wore it, I was like, I can't wait to wash it off. I literally had to go and try to wash it off at least somewhat. So yeah, it's not for me. The floral elements become too strong, even though I don't get them in the opening, but as it dries down, I get too much of that. And just overall, there's something in it that is just very headache inducing. I had a similar experience with Guidance. It was also just very difficult for me to wear. I had to wash it off. It was just overpowering, completely overpowering. And it's unfortunately the same case here. So it's an interesting scent. Do not blind buy. Do not blind buy anything from this house. Their fragrances are so complex and unpredictable. But do test it out because it might work for you. It has some lovely elements in this fragrance, but overall, it didn't work for me. Okay, we've come to the last fragrance in this testing video. And this one again has been quite hyped up in the last, I don't know, few months or so. I mean, at this point, with the way that I'm posting, who knows when this video is actually going to come out. Hopefully soon, you know. So at the time of filming, it's been hyped up in the last few months, but maybe by the time you see it, it's been more than that. And that is, again, not sure if I'm going to pronounce it correctly, but this is Cuihua Heart. Karaoke, I don't know how to pronounce it, but you're seeing it here from Juicebox. Okay, so they're kind of, I feel like there are mixed opinions on this fragrance out there. Some are saying it's absolutely amazing. Some are saying it's kind of disappointing. It is a mango scent. Yes, I love mango fragrances, so I had to try it. Now, the notes: mango, pineapple, lemon, rum, sandalwood, peony, vanilla, amber sun, labdanum. Now, I love all the notes in here. I love them. This fragrance has, how should I put it? It has kind of a, not so much fresh fruit vibe, but more like candy vibe. It's like you've created a candy with all of these different elements, like with mango and pineapple and lemon, and maybe you put some rum in there, you know, and a little bit of vanilla, and you created a candy with that. Like it has that candy vibe instead of fresh fruit vibe. Slightly, if I can say, perhaps slightly juvenile, but not in an offensive way, but it's very young. It has a very, okay, juvenile, bad word. Let's go with young vibe to it. So candy-ish, young vibe to it. I have to say, I really like this fragrance. I really do. Even though it feels quite young and sort of, I don't know, maybe a little immature, you know, kind of light-hearted fragrance. It is definitely very light-hearted. You know, is it super unique? No, it's not, but I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. It's a really such fun, happy, kind of easygoing type of scent that I really enjoy. So yeah, this one gets thumbs up from me. I really like it. I am putting it on my wish list. It's perhaps not at the very top of the list, but definitely somewhere in the middle of my wish list. I really like this one. So believe it or not, we did not go through all the samples that I've collected over the past couple of months. So there's definitely going to be one more part of testing some fragrances. But for now, as always, please let me know if you've tried any of these. What are your opinions about them? Or maybe if I piqued your interest about some of these. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to give me a thumbs up, to subscribe, and to comment. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.